What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to this episode of Custom with Vic. On today's episode, we're gonna be turning my personal pair of 2021 Carmine 6s into the rare 1991 sample version. The 1991 sample version has a black 23 right here on the side. While we're at it, we're gonna be also aging the shoe to make it look like they released back in 1991. We'll be taking care of the midsoles, outsoles, uppers, all of that stuff using some new techniques. So without further ado, let's get it started. First things first, we're gonna take out our shoelaces and go straight to taping. We're gonna tape off everything but the white rubber sole so we can start the aging process. All done with this phenomenal TJ, now we're on to dyeing these outsoles. For this, we're gonna take a permanent approach. Just like last year on the Mandalorian Star Wars Customs, we used Salon 40, candle wax dye, we mixed it up together. When you apply it, it's gonna be a really dark brown color, but once we put them inside the indoor setup for a couple days, the dye is gonna sink into the material to give us that nice cream tone that we want. We're gonna mix this stuff up so we can put them in the indoor setup. Good to go applying the dye to these outsoles. Now let's apply our saran wrap to both outsoles and put it inside our indoor setup. After 24 hours, we got these shoes out of the indoor setup. As you can see, we got that nice creamish tone. This is the exact tone I was going for. Last year when I did the blazers, I added too much brown to the mix and got this really dark brown. It still looked cool, but for this one, I wanted more of a light cream color. So on the mix, I used very little ivory brown and the majority of it was Salon 40. That's how we achieve this perfect creamish tone. Now we're on to the clear pods. For the clear pods, we'll be using Remix Your Cake sole dye. That's the best sole dye in the market. I went ahead and mixed yellow and orange together. We're gonna apply it using a paintbrush. Check this out, you guys. All done with the outsoles. The white rubber got that nice creamish tone. The blue icy soles are now yellow. These are on their way to those 91 samples. Now we're on to the midsoles. For the midsoles, right now they're white. We want to give it that inconsistent cream beige tone. For this, we'll be using beige and cream, of course, and a paintbrush. Really, the idea is not to make it perfect. We just want to get that inconsistent color all around. Once that's good to go, we'll go back and hit up all the edges with some black paint. All done with the paint job on these midsoles, we hit up all the white spots using some cream and beige paint. It's all very inconsistent. I wanted to make these look like they released 30 years ago, give it that look like they're ready to crumble. Now, to complete the look, we gotta hit up the black spots using some sandpaper to give it a little distressed look. Very lightly, we're just gonna hit up the edges, a couple right here, a couple in the front, and on the side. All done with the bottom half, now we're on to the uppers. Jordan Brand did an awesome job with his 2021 release on the toe boxes, way better than the 2014 release. But we're still gonna try anyway to reshape this toe box a bit more, just like the 1991 release. For this, we'll be using the iron method. There's two. Now it's time to make this into the 91 sample. We're gonna go ahead and apply a black 23 right here on the side, but first we gotta make a stencil. Julian sent over an awesome design using the exact 23 on the magazine. Let's go ahead and print it now. All done laying down the 23 on the side. To me, it looks really crispy. It balances out the black between the midsole and the upper. It looks OG. Now we're gonna continue the aging process of the shoe. Just like the white rubber, when it oxidizes, it turns to a yellowish tone. The same thing happens to the black rubber, except it's more of an ashy look. We're gonna replicate that using some light gray paint and a small angular brush. We're gonna be using the dry brush method. Pretty much what we're gonna do is apply paint, remove all of it, and just feather on whatever is left onto the edges of the black rubber. This is a trick taught to me by Foxtrot Uniform. Tongues and heel tabs are good to go. It's a very subtle detail, but it makes it look like an actual OG. Now to finish off the look, we're gonna hit up some of the edges using some custom brown paint, using a little detail brush. The idea is just to hit up the edges to make it look like some exposed old glue. Glue marks are in place. We're almost done with this custom. One thing I did off camera, something you guys may have noticed by now, is the tongue. On the original 91s, all the tongues are a lot higher, just like this right here. On all the retros, for some reason, the tongue's a lot shorter. In my opinion, this looks a lot better, so we're gonna do that on the second shoe. For this, it's just for looks. I went ahead and used an X-Acto knife to cut off the straps on the inside, and I cut off the excess. While we're at it, we're also gonna go ahead and apply some stitching right here on the sides to hold the tongue in place. This rubber piece is pretty heavy. If we don't do that, the tongue's just gonna collapse. Tongue looks a lot better now. This looks like a 91 original. It has that beautiful shape to it. Now the last step we gotta do is go outside and spray the shoe with a matte finish. We wanna get rid of any shine on the uppers or midsoles. While we're out there, we're also gonna spray the air units. We wanna get them super foggy, like the air units and midsoles are ready to crumble. Custom is complete. Now the last detail this project needs is some oatmeal Foxtrot laces. Let's lace them up. Alright guys, that is going to bring us to an end on these custom 1991 sample Carmine 6s. I'm a big fan of the OGs. This shoe right here definitely looks like an original 1991. Right here, I have a brand new 2021 Carmine 6. After comparing them, there's definitely a big difference. We'll start off with the soles. On the brand new Carmine, it has a nice blue icy sole. On the customs, I wanted to make them look like they're 30 plus years old, so I went ahead and dyed them yellow. Same thing with the rubber sole, I gave it some oxidation. After that, we moved on to the midsoles. For the midsoles, I gave it an uneven paint job using cream and beige paint. I wanted them to look like they're brand new but ready to crumble with the midsoles still fully intact. Same thing with the black, I wanted to give it an older look, so I distressed it a little bit using sandpaper. Then we hit the entire shoe with a matte finish to get rid of any shine. We also hit it on the air units to give it that look like they're ready to crumble as well. Then for the uppers, we gave it this really cool 23 on the side, just like the sample version on the magazine. In my opinion, it kind of looks doper with it on. On the heel tab and the tongues, we gave it an ashy look using the dry brush method. And lastly, we raised the tongues on both shoes to make them look exactly like the 91 version. That right there is my favorite detail of the whole custom. And we finished it off with some Foxtrot laces. This custom turned out really dope. I can't wait to rock them and put them with the rest of my collection. I know I've been doing a lot of aging customs lately. It's been one of my favorite current themes. Let me know in the comment section down below which one's been your favorite. This is Vic Almighty. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catch you guys next Monday. Peace.
Peace.